All right, guys, let me get you caught back up on this 850. It's been a drawn out little process here. Final drive, struck springs. Seems like everything's been going wrong, including the weather. So I haven't got this done as quite as fast as I wanted to, but we're on the downhill stretch here. So let me show you where we're. I can't even talk. Let me show you where we're at. So this is what I come up with on my temperature gauge. Remember how I was saying my hole was too big? I was able to take a grommet, a grody grommet for a 2.5 inch light. Did a little bit of finagling, got that grommet to fit in that hole, and then that gauge slid right into it. And let me tell you, I'm pretty happy with that. It seems to work really well. It's tight, but it's got just a little bit of give. These dozers are so hard on these gauges, beating around on them. But I think that's gonna work pretty darn good. There it is from the back side. I just kind of bent that finger a little bit to where it goes back and hits on the metal. And yeah, I gotta get my light in there yet, but pretty good. Got it ran down and plumbed in down there at the top of the head. That worked out pretty good. My next battle I got is there's two grease fittings, one there, and they go down into the belly pan, they go over and they grease the main pivot for the track frame. This hose here was busted, so it wasn't getting grease where it was supposed to. It was just squirting in the belly pan and not into the bushing. And of course now the thing's all clogged up with dirt, so I've got me a little thing rigged up. I'm gonna try to use the porta power, see if I can get it to bust loose. So I got this little doohickey here rigged up. I'm gonna thread that in where the grease fitting goes, hook that to my porta power. I have no idea whether this is gonna work or not, but there's only one way to find out. Hook it up, start pumping, and see what happens. So that's the plan. All right, guys, here it is. That may be hard to see, but that's the pin that goes through. This piece here pivots. So my plan is to attempt to screw that into there. Well, maybe. All right, finally got it started. Tighten this booger down, hook the porta power to it, and cross my fingers. You can kind of see on this side, there's the hose going in. This hose goes all the way up, goes to that grease fitting up top. So that other one was busted. I done throwed it away. It is busted right here where it curves around that. So see what happens. Pretty sure this is improper use of a porta power, but you gotta do what you gotta do sometimes, right? This hole getting this grease fitting broke loose is not going well, to say the least. This may be an entire video over how to get a grease fitting to take grease, followed by fail. So let me catch you up with where we're at. I had the little red porta power, no go. I drug this old dinosaur out, tried to use it, still couldn't get it to take grease. So this is my Hail Mary plan, is what we're gonna call it. I've come up with this contraption, and here's my thought process. So the porta power hooks on this end screws into the pin. I put this T in here, and I'm gonna put some WD-40 or some sort of low viscosity oil. This is just random stuff I have left in the shop. Put that in there, and then I went on eBay. I've been wanting one of these anyways for a while. It's just a little air-powered porta power jack. I believe it's 10,000 pounds. It's a cheapo. I bought it for like 115 bucks, but I'm gonna hook that to it, put some WD or something in there, and let it hold pressure, and hopefully it'll work its way in there. I realize it's probably a long shot, but this, I'm gonna call it my grease pipe, is the last trick I got up my sleeve. So we'll see what happens. If this don't work, it may just have to eat itself alive and deal with it later. It's really starting to aggravate me, if you can't tell. All right, guys, hallelujah. We finally got a breakthrough. I don't know if it was a combination of penetrating oil or patience or what, but it finally come out. You can see where the oil's coming out there. They're coming out there, so we got it. I was beginning to wonder. I was losing hope. So gotta get my new hose on, and then I need to get back to my original reason I took the belly pan off is up there somewhere. Hard to see. You can see that wire right there. It goes up to a temperature sending unit, which is actually the temperature gauge for the, right there. See the very top of it right there? It goes up for the temperature sending unit for the temperature gauge on the transmission. I want to get it changed, so gonna get this all switched out, get my new permanent tube on there, and then get that temperature gauge changed, or that sending unit changed, and go from there. All right, guys, there it is. I got my new hose mocked up and in there. Got it clear and everything. Then up there, I think you can barely see it. You got the new transmission temperature sensor unit in there. The other one was, looks like somebody tightened the wire down too tight and stripped off the stud. Is why it wasn't working. So I think we're done down here. Gonna get the belly pan put back on it. And next on the list is try to figure out why the fuel gauge ain't working. So we'll go investigate that next. All right, I've been doing some testing on this fuel gauge. I'm gonna show you what I found. This is one of those classic situations of don't jump to conclusions and possibly run a few tests first. So here it is. So I was absolutely convinced that the sending unit, which goes in that hole right there, was bad. This thing don't come with a factory with a fuel gauge on. I put one on it. So I've had it break before, so I unbolt the rack and raise it up, pull the fuel gauge out. Guess what? I can't find a darn thing wrong with it. So I chased the wire down, checked continuity through the signal wire, it was all good. Come to find out, I'm pretty sure the only thing that was wrong is my fancy job I did at grounding was loose. So, now that I went through all the effort of pulling that stupid thing out of the tank, I'm pretty sure I probably could have just taken my multi-tool, tightened up a ground wire, we would have been fine, but we're going to tighten her down, put the sending unit back in, test it, and see if I'm right or not. So we'll find out. All right, guys. Excuse me. I got the fuel gauge in. The ground wire was the problem, but I lost confidence in the gauge, so I went ahead and replaced it while I had it out. I did the same thing with it I did over there. Battery's dead now, I'd show you. But seems to work pretty good.
On that side and on the other
Hey, what are you two gays doing? You know what we gotta do? So the last thing we gotta do with this bulldozer.
What?
Is we gotta take that sprocket off. We're gonna replace that sprocket.
What sprocket?
This one back here, you see it?
What's that?
That's the sprocket that makes it go.
This?
No, go down a little bit.
This?
There, right there where Macy's at.
This whole thing? But Daddy, can you take this part of the track
You want me to take that off just so you can get in there and clean the dirt off better?
Yes.
No? That's a lot of work just so you can clean dirt.
Yeah, well, we need it all. We want to go all the way.
All right, look. See, Daddy's got this position. See this link right here? It's solid. That's where the track comes apart. So everybody does this different, but I put it right there because we can let that part fall down, and we can take the crane and lift this part up.
Where's the crane?
The crane's over there on the other side. And hopefully that makes it easy. With it being right there, that makes it easy to put it back together. So.
Easy, but Daddy, can
What?
you leave it off so we could get it?
I'll be sure to leave it off long enough you can get that dirt out there, okay?
Yeah.
I can't believe you two got that off there all by yourself.
It's not, mine way farther back.
So we got the old one off. It's over there.
It's whenever you roll it.
Yeah, now we gotta get the new one back on.
Where's the new?
It's down at the office. We gotta go get it, and it's raining.
Macy. What in?
The truck.
Okay.
All right.
Not the Ranger again.
Nope. Let's roll.
Because remember last time whenever we went to the Derby Tavern in the Ranger, and then it started raining and we had the Ranger, and then when we got home.
How come every time I start video and you have to tell a story on me? All right, guys, just wanted to show you my setup real quick. Got the new sprocket on, got it wrestled up in there. That all went pretty good, but here's kind of what I was talking about. I get that gator link right there. I can get a floor jack underneath that cleat. I can use my overhead crane, or if you're outside, you got a service truck right here. And if you do it right there, that's where everything kind of seems to fall in place. I do take a wire brush and make sure all the dirt's cleaned out of there. And I'll also clean the dirt off the pad over there to make sure everything bolts up tight. That's what I've kind of found for me that works pretty well over the years. I've tried a few different positions, a few different places, but if somebody else has got an idea or a suggestion that they think would work better, I'm all ears. All right, guys, I was telling you about the jump packs I bought at the farm machinery show. This is it right here. There's 750 peak amps, 250 cranking amps. Give it $200 a piece for them. I got 2 of them for 24-volt systems. This dozer is deader than a doornail. So, we're gonna put them to the test and see if they work. All right, so this dozer, I'm telling you, it is dead. Like, it can't get no more dead. Got one hook to that one hook to that one. Green lights are on. Got lights up here, that's good. I can't believe them little jump packs work, but I'm glad they did. Let's get this pig out of the garage. Glad to have that old girl out of here and back to work, so gotta get the shop cleaned up. Look at that mess. Can you believe that dozer pulled in here and made that mess? But we'll get the shop cleaned up and on to the next project. Okay guys, I hope you enjoyed that video. If you did, if you could just take a few seconds to hit that thumbs up button, that'd be greatly appreciated. And if you want to make sure you don't miss out on the next great adventure or the next project on Dirt Perfect, hit that subscribe button.